The purpose of Summer Project is to build, to help build a movement wherever it is of students who are from that country or university, so that they can go out and lead someday. And it's not this big conversion. It's just people sharing with their friends and sharing with their families, and then you look back and it's like, saw God move there, and that's how a movement happens. And ultimately what Summer Project is, just sharing.
Just know that I've heard many stories of my friends who've been overseas for their summers, and been with Summer Projects even stateside, that came back and they were just changed. They were so much closer with God and just understood the power of God. And so I'm really excited just to learn this and experience it for myself.
I think my biggest fear is I speak some Spanish, but not a lot. So the language barrier between myself and the students, and that I'll be able to communicate the gospel to them clearly. Because I guess I'm worried about making mistakes or making a fool of myself, kind of. But I know God's going to provide for me in this situation. So.
I guess I've been a little nervous just about relating with a different culture, and the ability to cross the language barrier and the culture barrier. But so far God's proven faithful, and I trust that He will continue to do that.
Sharing is something that's never been very easy for me, and it's something that I just have anxiety over, and every time I would go out sharing it would be like a huge event, and it was really difficult. So that was scary, coming on a trip where that's what I was going to be doing every single day, and I was really doubtful of myself and that I would be able to do it without being afraid and having fears, and being able to just walk up to random people and talk to them and continue a conversation, and to transition into spiritual things. So I think just it was really scary to decide to go on an evangelistic trip where that was the purpose of our trip, when it's something that I feel like I wasn't very good at.
Basically, I went here on spring break with Ralph Cooley, and I just really felt like God was calling me to come back. And so about a week after, which only left me with a month and a half till the due date that we left, I decided to go, or to come back. And I didn't have enough money until 24 hours before I left, and I raised $3,000 in the last day.
I think something really cool about Summer Project and meeting with college students is you in your mind have an expectation of how it's going to go, but God completely blows you out of the water, and He does something totally different and so much better than we could ever imagine.
I would just love to see God continue moving in my heart, giving me compassion and love for people that I've never met before, in a culture that's new, and I just hope that He continues to teach me that the necessity of the gospel for anyone of any country.
I just want to see myself changed a lot. I want to see myself grow a lot, and I want to see the students here get involved with Campus Crusade here in a bigger way than they already are.
Nathan and I had a half an hour left before we were going to go meet up, and pouring rain, and we found this guy sitting off by himself.
While sharing on campus, I met this guy named Caesar.
When we approached him, and he said he didn't speak any English, and we don't speak any Spanish whatsoever. Nathan speaks maybe 10 words.
And I did not communicate that well in Spanish with him. My Spanish is very limited.
So he asked him a couple questions. We did a few solarium questions with him, and then we just pulled out the booklet and said, hey, can we read this to you in Spanish? And Nathan kind of took the initiative on it.
And we had this very, just a general conversation about just his life, and I didn't know where to go with it. After a few minutes, my Spanish had run out, and so I pulled out the booklet that's both Spanish and English, and read through the pages with him, and even though I wasn't pronouncing everything correctly, and even though when I was asking him questions from the pages, they probably weren't making sense, he was getting it.
I'm just sitting there like praying the whole time, like, God, like give him the words and like speak, because Nathan's struggling and I wouldn't even know how to pronounce half those words.
And just saw a change in his attitude to where he was understanding the gospel. And we got to a decision point in which I asked him, where are you in life? Is God in control? And he said no. And I asked him, did you want God to be in control of his life? And I could tell he was just thinking deeply about it and acknowledged that he wanted God in control of his life, and wanted to pray the prayer. And I was just blown away just about how God was able to use this conversation, in which when I was involved in it, I didn't understand how it got anywhere with the Spanish I was using, but God used it to just reach his heart and to bring him into relationship with God.
Just seeing what God can do in 30 minutes when it's pouring rain and we can't speak the language, and like Nathan and I kind of just walked away. We're like, what just happened? Like, this guy like almost prayed, like is ready to accept Christ. Like, you could just see it, and we didn't even think anything of it. Like, we just went in like, okay, we're just gonna have one more conversation, not a big deal. And then this happened, and just it was so cool to see what God can do when we're completely broken and weak and all of that. But that's just one story we've experienced.
We raise our white flag, we surrender.